Welcome to another deep dive. This one, might make you think a little differently about life and death.
Yeah, maybe even about what it means to be human.
That's true.
Mm.
Today we're looking at AI
Mm-hmm.
and how it's impacting our relationship with immortality.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Big one. We hear about digital immortality and you think,
Sci-fi.
exactly.
Right.
But then you hear about a company like StoryFile.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute. This is real.
Right. These interactive avatars that look and sound just like a person.
Even after they're gone.
Yeah, and it's not like a Black Mirror episode anymore. It's like it's happening. Think about Marina Smith, the Holocaust educator. Her StoryFile avatar was present at her own funeral.
Oh, wow.
Answering questions.
No way.
Yeah, from the mourners. It's not even a question of if anymore. It's here.
So how does it even work?
Well,
Is it just like recording a bunch of videos, or is there some deeper AI magic?
it's more than just recording. Think of it as a digital memory bank. They
Mhm.
collect all sorts of data.
Okay.
Videos, audio recordings, even written stories and memories. And then they use AI to analyze all that,
Right.
to create an avatar that can respond.
So it's actually processing information and creating something new.
Yeah,
That's pretty incredible.
it really is. It makes you think about what voice even means in this context, you know?
Right.
Is it the person's authentic self or an AI interpretation?
And that brings us to this whole idea of digital immortality.
Yeah.
It's not like these avatars are claiming to be conscious or have souls.
Right.
It's more about capturing an echo of someone, their personality, their memories, their beliefs, and preserving that digitally.
It's important to make that distinction. We're not talking about souls in the cloud.
Right.
It's more about preserving aspects of identity.
So in a way, it's like a really advanced scrapbook, but one that can talk back to you.
Exactly, yeah. And this idea of capturing a person's essence, it's something that's fascinated humans forever. Think about the Egyptians and mummification,
Right.
or even a biography. It's about understanding and preserving someone. AI is just a new way to do that.
A more interactive way.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder how different cultures would view this, though.
Yeah.
Even today, death and the afterlife are understood in so many ways.
Oh, absolutely. Like the Agori ascetics,
Right.
who embrace death as a part of life, they might see this as clinging to a digital representation.
And then you have Viktor Frankl,
Yeah.
who went through the Holocaust
Right.
and wrote about how awareness of death can give life meaning.
Right. It pushes us to find purpose.
Frankl's idea that confronting death gives life meaning, I mean, that's fascinating in this context.
It really is. Would a digital afterlife make us less motivated to live fully? Or would it push us to create even richer legacies?
Yeah, it's a big question. It makes you think about how this could change our values.
Totally.
And we're just scratching the surface. Once you start thinking about it, this digital immortality raises so many questions.
About identity.
About ethics,
Yeah.
about what it means to be human. It feels like we're stepping into a world where science fiction and reality are,
Blurring.
yeah, it's getting blurry.
It really is. And I think that's what makes this whole topic so fascinating. We're grappling with these huge questions, but now technology is giving them a new urgency.
Right. Like before, we were just talking about the soul and the afterlife. Now we're talking about actual technology that could, in a way, make some form of immortality possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And it's not just theoretical, it's happening. People are creating these digital versions of themselves, and that's where it starts to get ethically complicated.
Yeah, it's a bit of a minefield.
For sure.
I mean, the first thing that pops into my head is consent.
Oh, absolutely.
Should everyone automatically get a digital avatar after they die, or should it be a choice?
Consent is crucial. It shouldn't be assumed that everybody wants to live on digitally.
Imagine finding out someone made an avatar of you without asking.
Yeah, that's a huge violation.
It's like someone publishing your diary after you're gone.
Exactly. And even if someone did consent, there are still so many questions.
Like, who controls it?
Who has access?
Can you update it?
It's a minefield.
Not to mention the emotional side of things. I mean, one of the reasons people create these avatars is to comfort loved ones.
Yeah, I get that.
But could it actually make things harder?
That's a paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the one hand, you can imagine how comforting it would be to hear their voice again,
Right.
to see their mannerisms, but could it prevent people from moving on?
It makes you think about those VR experiences where people can visit their childhood home
Oh, yeah.
or spend time with a deceased relative.
Yeah.
It's powerful, but I've heard people say it makes letting go harder.
It's all about finding that balance.
Right.
We want to hold on to the people we love,
Mm-hmm.
but part of life is learning to cope with loss. If we rely too much on these digital echoes, Are we denying ourselves that chance to heal?
And how real are those interactions anyway?
Exactly.
I mean, an AI can copy someone's voice and personality.
Yeah.
But can it capture who they really were?
That's a big question. We're talking about replicating human consciousness, which we don't fully understand.
Right.
An AI might access memories and experiences.
But can it replicate their thoughts, their feelings?
It's almost like the difference between reading a script and giving a performance, right?
Yes.
The AI might deliver the lines, but can it embody the character?
That's a good way to put it.
It brings us back to the purpose. If the goal is just to remember and comfort, then maybe an AI can do that.
But if we're talking about replicating a person,
Their consciousness, their essence,
then we're not quite there yet.
I don't think so.
It makes you wonder about future generations, too.
Oh, yeah.
Growing up with access to avatars of their ancestors.
It could revolutionize how we learn about history. Imagine asking your great-great-grandmother about her life.
That's amazing.
It could transform our understanding of genealogy.
But what if those avatars are biased or inaccurate?
That's the other side of the coin. They're only as good as the data they're trained on. And data can be biased, incomplete, or even manipulated.
It's not just about the technology then.
Right.
It's about responsibility.
We have to be careful about how we use this information.
Absolutely. And we need to talk about these risks and benefits openly, not just for us, but for the generations that come after.
This whole thing has really made me think differently. I used to think immortality was a fantasy.
Yeah.
But it feels like something big is on the horizon.
It's a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
We're changing the rules of life and death.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to decide what that future looks like.
It's like we're holding up this mirror to ourselves.
Yeah.
And asking, like, what do we want to be remembered for?
It's a good way to put it. It's more than just technology.
Right.
It reflects our values, our anxieties about life and death.
And it makes us think about some hard questions. Like, what does it even mean to live a meaningful life?
Right.
If part of us can live on forever, does it make this life less valuable? Or does it make us want to live more fully? Knowing our choices could have this impact way beyond our lifetime.
It's a lot to process.
It is.
And it's not just about us as individuals.
No, think about the impact on society.
Right. What would that even look like?
Imagine having access to all that knowledge from the past.
Wow.
It could change education, research.
Politics even?
What if you could talk to a digital avatar of a historical figure to get their take on things happening today?
It's kind of mind-blowing.
It is.
But also a little scary. What about manipulation?
Right, that's a real concern.
Could these avatars be used to spread misinformation?
We've already seen how easy that is online.
Yeah.
This could make it even worse. We have to be careful about how this technology is used.
And how it's developed.
We need to teach people how to think critically.
About what they see and hear.
Especially from these digital sources.
It's like we need a whole new set of skills for this digital world.
You can't just assume everything an avatar says is true.
Right, we can't just take it at face value.
It goes back to control. To who decides what information gets shared.
Who's responsible for making sure it's accurate?
Those are questions we got to figure out now.
Before this gets even bigger.
Before it's too late.
Yeah, it feels like things are changing so fast.
A major shift.
We used to think death was the end.
The end of the story.
But now,
it's more of transition.
A blur between the physical and the digital.
It challenges everything we thought we knew.
About life.
About death.
About being human.
It makes us rethink our values, our laws.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
But also a little scary.
I agree. That's why these conversations are so important.
We need to talk about it now.
While we still have time to shape the future.
Before it shapes us.
Exactly.
Yeah, it really does feel like a whole new world.
A whole new way of thinking about things.
Like, what does it even mean to live a good life? You know?
Right.
If a part of us can kind of live on forever digitally.
Does it cheapen this life? Or does it make us want to live even better knowing that our impact could last so much longer?
It's like this whole new layer of meaning.
And it's not just personal either, right?
No, it's not. It's societal.
Think about it. What if we could tap into the knowledge of everyone who came before us?
That's a lot of knowledge.
It could revolutionize things.
Education, research, like you said.
Imagine being able to ask historical figures for their opinions on what's happening today.
It's wild when you really think about it.
It really is.
But it does make you wonder about the downsides, right? Like, could it be used for bad things?
Oh, for sure. Manipulation is a huge concern.
Could these avatars be used to spread lies or propaganda?
It's definitely possible. We already see how easily misinformation spreads online.
And this could make it even worse.
We have to be so careful about how it's developed and used.
And about teaching people how to be critical,
how to evaluate the information they're getting.
Especially from these digital sources.
Yeah, you can't just blindly trust everything you hear from an avatar.
Right, it's like we need a whole new set of skills for this digital world.
Exactly, a whole new kind of literacy.
It's like we're moving from a world where death was the end.
The period at the end of the sentence.
But now it's
More like a comma.
a transition.
Maybe even just a pause.
It's blurring the lines between physical and digital in a way that I don't think we've ever seen before.
And it's making us question everything.
About life, about death, about what it means to be human.
It's exciting and a little scary all at the same time.
It really is.
And that's why it's so important to talk about it.
Now, while we still have a chance to shape it,
Before it shapes us.
well, this has been quite the deep dive.
It really has.
So much to think about.
As we go forward into this new world, this uncharted territory,
We're going to need wisdom and caution in equal measure.
and a willingness to keep asking questions.
And keep learning and adapting.
Because the future is unfolding right in front of us.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
It's been a pleasure.
And until next time, keep exploring and keep diving deep.